And I gave it to him, and man, like he was growing absolute trees because of where he was in that Appalachia. But he surprised me a few times back in the old like good days of Emerald Cup, back in what we call the Prop 215 days when you could just bring pounds on pounds to the show. I remember he came in and he had a dozen mason jars. He loves messing with me. He brought in a dozen mason jars, and he's like, "Hey, check out these 3 different cultivars. Let me know what you think and which one you like better." They all had a little different characteristics, but the one I chose, no surprise, was the full term outdoor versus the depth versus the indoor. But the trick of it was at the time, it was all wedding cake. So that kind of gives you an idea of what year that was. But it was all wedding cake. But to your point, he took that same genetic from that same mom and he grew it in 3 different environments, all from an Appalachia standpoint, all on his farm. So it's not like he has one at sea level, one up at Spire Rock. Like it wasn't anything extreme. It's just it was literally the environment. It was outdoor, hoop, and depth and indoor. Yeah. And I could not believe, to your point, man, just the visually, not only from a taste and from an experiential, but visually how different that plant looked. So it's people need to experience and do little, to your point, not need to kind of experiment. You don't have to be a geneticist or get into crossing stuff, but just do fun stuff like that. And it's insane to see how this plant acts.
It's beautiful. I think when it comes to growing, as you get the bug, like I did, when I got the growing bug, it grabbed onto me and I just went on. So I started growing and then popped up tents left and right. Now I know to have only enough tents that I can handle because, you know how it is. The new growers, you guys out there, new growers, be careful because it'll happen sometimes where you'll just throw in a bunch of tents and you'll be like, I can handle it. And it's like, well, you still have a life. So you have to, you have a life and you got to take care of the plants. So it becomes a little bit too much. So make sure to keep it within your realms. But within this growing, like I said, with cloning and stuff like that, like you learn how to clone, boom, now you got a new skill. And now you start to see genetics. And with me, the way that I was growing is I read the plant. Always read the plant, whatever the plant says, whatever the plant does, right? So you're watching the plant the whole time. So you start to notice these characteristics that come out. You start to notice these problems that start to happen, HOVD, mites, or whatever it is, and your knowledge base just becomes so much bigger by just growing this plant. I mean, it's put all my, for me, all my energy that I would put into something bad into good positivity. You know what I
mean? Yeah. It makes you better because to your point, and it's definitely good advice for novice growers. You can be as proactive as you want to.